Hello, I'm David. I'm the product manager of the SMEMA Hermes adapter. Today I'm going to show you how to move data between adapters. The software version I'm using today is Multiplug 82 and the Hermes extension 28. Now the use case for this is moving data between adapters. Adapters can be on the same line, but they can be on different lines. There might be situations where you want to move data between different parts of the line or a different line because of a special sequence in your production, maybe a one-off, maybe continually. So the use cases between adapters, between the lanes, but also between any machine running the multiplug.extension.hermes instance. So this isn't the official way of moving data between lanes or machines. You should really use a supervisory connection. However, you might not have one. Or it might be a very specialist situation where you need to move data between machines or lanes. So I would always recommend going down the Hermes route, but this uses the inbuilt REST API available to anyone who wants to add data, remove data, and understand the current state of the adapter or a multiplug.extension Hermes instance. So first of all, what I'm going to do is go to the device that I'm going to send the information to and enable the REST API. I'm going to go to lanes, I'm going to set up data, and you've got a RESTful API, and this basically is a security situation where you can enable the different functionality. So I'm going to enable the list lanes, and I'm going to enable create new board data. Let's save that. So that's the device I'm sending the data to. On the device that I'm sending the data from, if you go to setup and if you scroll down to remote RESTful API endpoints, you can add one. You can type in its IP address and protocol if you wish. If your network supports it, this uses SSDP, so it will go away off to the network and discover all the instances on the network and give you a nice list to select. So we're going to say this adapter here, and it populates the description for now. We'll save that, and then we can click on it, and because we enabled the list lanes API, it will allow us to list the GUID of the lane, which is just lane 1, and it allows us to repopulate the description appropriate to the description on that adapter. The path, we're going to send it to the scan station, because as soon as the board gets detected into the machine when set up, it will use that data to then populate that board for movement down line, so into the machine. But you can change the other paths as you so wish. And if you have other systems you want to send data to, it will send it as a JSON object, and so you can use that. So at this point we can test the connection by sending dummy data. Connection successful, and we can check that has occurred by going to the device we're sending it to, going to scan station, and we can see there's a dummy board ID being populated, so that we know the connection is good. Let's delete that for now. So now we have our device set up, our endpoint, and this allows us to extend the move functionality. So I can click there, I can click move, I can copy the value to that adapter. And again, if I go back there, it's moved across. So let's delete that. Looks like I didn't save the description, so I'm just going to do that again quickly. So how is this functionality useful in the real world? Well, as I said, you can manually move data between if you so wish, but you can also set up a scan inspection station scenario. So if I enable inspection station, I create the rule that I want the operator to move the board manually between lanes. So I say the root value is equal to 2, which is lane 2, even though it's not named correctly. And then I can create a description of what to do. Remove board and place into lane 2. I can create some buttons, and simply I want the button to be board removed. Let's say white text on, let's say, orange. Save that. And then I want the board to be, first of all, I want it to be copied to conveyor lane 1 in this situation, but it should be 2, but it's because it's not named correctly. I want to then move the board, essentially remove the board from the machine. You have multiple options. You can remove it to the remove store, which essentially is a temporary place to just put boards when you are moving them about, but they will not be saved. I would suggest to move it downstream. This doesn't actually mean to move it to the downstream, it just puts it into the remembered queue of the downstream. It essentially removes it from this station, which is your machine. And that's what I want to do. So I've copied the thing. Yep. Okay. So now in the other machine, there's nothing in the scan station. If we then move a board downstream, it's then added to the inspection station. Okay, why is that? We can open that up. It says root equals 2, remove board and place into lane 2. So I can go into the machine, I can take the machine out, the board out, and I can then confirm that I've removed it. It's then disappeared. It's actually been moved down to this queue just in case we need it in the future, so it's not lost. But also it's been added to the scan station of lane 2. So when I put the board into the lane 2, there'll be a starvation event, and the scan station queue data will be used for the next board into the machine. So there's no scanning needed. Of course, there's always going to be the potential for human error at this point, but essentially it's a quick way of moving data between adapters or lanes. You see root equals lane 2. So I hope that's a nice easy way of moving data between adapters and scenarios when you need to move data between lanes. Thank you for watching.